Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today I have an unbelievable true story that will surprise you. Imagine this. A millionaire, someone very rich, sees a sad woman standing alone in the pouring rain, and then he does something crazy that changes everything. You might think you know what happens next, but trust me, the twist will blow your mind. Stay with me as we explore how one act of kindness can turn a gloomy day into a life full of hope. Our story begins on a cold, rainy afternoon in a busy city. Rain fell in heavy drops, filling the streets with puddles and making the sidewalks slippery. People hurried along with their umbrellas and raincoats. In the midst of this rush, one person hardly noticed the weather at all. A well-dressed man with kind eyes and a warm smile. He was a millionaire, known by many for his big heart and even bigger ideas. Even though he had so much money, he always looked for ways to help others. As he walked on the glistening pavement, a thought suddenly stopped him. Across the street, beneath a worn-out umbrella, a woman stood all alone. Her eyes were downcast and tears mixed with the raindrops on her cheeks. There was something about her that made him pause and wonder, why would someone as brave as she be crying on such a day? At that moment, the businessman remembered a simple truth. Even the strongest people sometimes feel very sad. You see, sometimes a rainy day is not just about the weather. It can remind us that even when things look dark, there is light hidden somewhere. And today that hidden light was waiting to shine. We will soon learn that small, kind acts can be as bright as the sun breaking through the clouds. Our millionaire was not like most rich people who simply drive fancy cars, shop in expensive stores, or talk about big deals. He believed that real wealth is measured by the kindness we share with others. As his eyes met the tearful gaze of the woman, he realized something very important. He thought, if one person can feel so sad in a downpour, maybe my help can bring the sunshine back. In that moment, he made a decision that many would call crazy. I must do something, he thought aloud. Instead of just standing there or simply giving her some money, he wanted to change what sadness meant to her. He took a deep breath as if gathering all the warmth of a sunny day and stepped across the busy street. The rain did not slow him down. It only made his heart beat faster with determination. While simple ideas sometimes lead to the best actions, his plan was different. He wanted to give her something that money alone could not buy, a chance to feel understood and valued. And for you, that is the secret. Sometimes the best help comes from the heart, not from a bank account. As he reached the woman, he knelt down and said gently, "Hello, my name is Daniel. I couldn't help but see that you look sad in the rain. May I share my umbrella with you and maybe help turn your day around?" His voice was soft but full of energy, like a warm hug on a cold day. The woman looked up, surprised and a little unsure, and whispered, "Who are you? Why do you care?" Daniel smiled. "I care because every person deserves to feel happy, even on the worst days. Sometimes we all need a little help to see the beauty in the world." He then did something that no one expected. Rather than simply talking, he pulled out a small, striped notebook from his pocket. Flipping it open, he began to write down what would soon be the start of a new adventure for them both. "Today, I'm not just giving you an umbrella," he explained. "I'm offering you a chance to join me in a project where we make sadness vanish and bring smiles to people's faces. You see, I have been working on a community project that brings art, music, and simple fun to our streets. Every rainy day can become a celebration instead of a time of gloom." He paused and continued, "Think of it like this. When you mix water with colors, you can create a beautiful painting. Life is a bit like that. Even when you're sad, you can create something beautiful. I want to show you how we can change a single rainy day into a day full of hope. This offer was very unusual. In simple words, Daniel was not offering money, but the chance for a fresh start. He explained that he had seen many people struggle with loneliness and pain, and he believed that by sharing art and music, by sharing time with others, we can help warm even the coldest hearts. He mentioned that scientists have learned our brains make happy chemicals when we share kindness, and his plan was to flood the town with those happy sparks. It might sound crazy, Daniel added with a chuckle, but sometimes crazy ideas bring the best surprises. Just like when you mix lemonade with a splash of magic, life can be sweet and full of wonder. The woman, whose name was Emily, listened closely as Daniel described his dream. Every word felt like a ray of gentle sunlight shining through the rain. Emily admitted, "I have been feeling lost and alone for a long time. I never thought someone like you would care about me." Daniel's eyes sparkled as he said, "Emily, everyone matters. Your smile can change the world. I want to help you find it again." Starting from that very moment, Daniel invited Emily to join him on a journey. He promised that together they would visit community centers, local parks, and small art studios where people came together to sing, dance, and create. While Emily was a little nervous at first, she could see that Daniel's ideas were not just about a quick fix. They were about making lasting change. He said, "We all have special gifts inside us. Sometimes we just need someone to remind us of what we are capable of." Daniel led her to his favorite place in the city, a quiet park that became a safe space for many who needed joy and comfort. As they walked under the umbrella, Daniel explained his plan in simple words. "Imagine, Emily, that we start a fun group. We can teach others how to paint, dance, or even sing silly songs. We can show everyone that even on a day when rain makes everything gray, our hearts can glow with bright colors." He paused to point out how even the simplest things in life can be magical. Just like when you share a piece of chocolate with a friend, your small act of kindness can make a big difference. When we add up all the little pieces of care, the result is a masterpiece of love and happiness. Emily began to smile. The idea was so different, so unexpected, that for the first time in a long while she felt hopeful. "I want to be part of your crazy plan, Daniel," she said. "I want to help other people feel happy too." Their conversation flowed naturally like a river, and even though all the words were simple, each one carried a depth of meaning that could change lives. Daniel continued by explaining that his project was more than just art or music. It was also about understanding how our brains work. "Science tells us," he explained in clear language, "that when we are kind and help others, our brain makes chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. These chemicals are like tiny helpers that make you feel happy and calm. When you help someone, you help yourself too." He gave an example that even a 10-year-old would understand. "Remember the last time you shared your toy or helped a friend with homework? That warm feeling in your heart, that's what I want everyone to feel all the time." Daniel's words were like little lessons mixed with a dash of science and a lot of heart. He even made a funny joke. "Imagine if all our brains were little factories making happiness every time we smile." This made Emily giggle and feel even more excited about what was coming next. The idea was simple, practical, and a bit wild. If they could get even a few people to join, their kind of art and community care could grow. until it spread through the whole town. Daniel mentioned that sometimes in business, he used charts and numbers to see if an idea would work. But today he explained, love cannot be measured by numbers. It is felt by everyone in their heart. This is the best kind of project, he said gently. Soon Daniel and Emily began to see the results of this new choice. They met people who had been stuck in their sadness for a long time. They organized small street dance sessions, painted colorful murals on walls, and shared stories under makeshift canopies in the park. With every smile that returned, every laugh that echoed, the project grew bigger, a tiny spark of kindness growing into a warm flame of community spirit. Emily started to realize that life, despite its storms, held many chances to be joyful. I never thought a single kind act could change so much, she told Daniel one day, as they watched children play happily in a puddle. Daniel replied with a smile, sometimes we need a little crazy idea to turn our world around. I believe that every drop of kindness is like a seed, and when we plant enough seeds, a forest of hope grows. Every step of the journey was filled with warmth, laughter, and sometimes even silly moments. Daniel once tried to lead a rain dance in the middle of a gentle drizzle, making everyone laugh as they hopped and twirled under the clouds. Even during the toughest parts of the day, his spirit remained high, and his belief in the power of kindness never wavered. His actions, though a little unpredictable, taught everyone around him a great lesson. Money is not the only tool that can make the world better. As the project moved forward, more people joined in. Neighbors started to help each other decorate their small shops with bright colors, and local musicians played happy songs in front of community centers. The whole town began to look like an art project where every person was a bright brushstroke on a large loving canvas. And it all started with a single, courageous act in the rain. Both Daniel and Emily learned many important lessons on their journey. They discovered that everyone, no matter how sad they feel sometimes, has a hidden strength waiting to be brought out. Daniel explained, our lives are like puzzles. Sometimes one piece, like a smile or a kind word, can complete the picture. Emily added in a shy, happy tone, I learned that even on the darkest day, a kind heart can find its way to the light. They even talked about everyday examples that you might see at school or at home. Imagine if your friend fell on the playground and you ran over to help them stand up. That simple act of kindness can make your friend feel as if they have a superpower. Daniel said, in a way, helping each other is what makes us all heroes. His words were simple, but they carried a message that even a 10-year-old could understand, that friendship, kindness, and care matter above all. Throughout their talks, there was also fun and humor. One afternoon, while planning a small outdoor party, Daniel joked, I think we need to call this project the Great Rainy Day Rescue. After all, the rain brought us together. Even though the idea sounded silly at first, it made everyone laugh. Laughter, as they found, was another way to bring light to even the darkest storm. Every giggle and every shared smile was proof that even a few drops of joy could make a big difference. Their journey showed that technical ideas like how our brain works or how art can change a community can be explained in a few simple words. And sometimes the best lessons are learned not from a textbook, but from our own experiences and the warmth of a shared moment. Each step they took was a reminder that even when life seems full of rain, there is always a chance to see a colorful rainbow. As time went on, the project blossomed beyond what Daniel had first imagined. The community's energy grew, and more neighbors joined to fill the street with art, music, and laughter. Emily, who had once been the sad woman under the rain, now became a guide for others. She helped organize small clubs where people could share their talents, whether it was drawing, singing, or simply telling funny stories that made everyone feel better. Daniel was proud. Sometimes what starts as one small crazy action can lead to a big change, he told a group of volunteers one sunny morning. He explained that in business he was used to planning big projects with charts and numbers, but the most important plan of all was the plan that helped people feel happy. When we mix love with action, the result is amazing, he said, and everyone clapped and cheered in agreement. One day at a special community event, Daniel organized an art show right outside the town hall. People put up paintings, wrote poems, and shared music that they had created together. The idea was to show how kindness can turn even the saddest day into a celebration of life. Emily and Daniel stood on a small stage, thanked everyone for joining, and reminded them that every one of us can be a spark in someone else's dark day. They both spoke in simple language that everyone could understand. We are all like little drops of water. When we come together, we make the big, beautiful ocean of life. No drop is too small, and no act of kindness is ever wasted. Their words were a call for everyone to look after one another, to share even the smallest smiles, and to be bold enough to do something unexpected, something that might seem crazy, because that's what makes the world change for the better. This message spread not just in that town, but to many other places. Soon more people learned that true wealth is not what you keep in your bank, but what you share with those in need. And it all began with one crazy idea on a rainy day, proving that a single act of kindness can light up the darkest skies. As our story comes to an end, think about this. What would you do if you saw someone in need on a rainy day? Would you just hurry by? Or would you stop and offer a hand, a smile, or even just a kind word? Daniel's wild and wonderful idea reminds us that sometimes bravery and kindness go hand in hand. Even if it seems a little crazy at first, the message is simple and true. Never be afraid to do something kind when you see someone hurting. Whether it is sharing an umbrella, lending a friendly ear, or inviting someone to join your adventure, every act of kindness has the power to change lives. Let's remember that no matter how hard the rain falls, hope can always shine through. And each one of us can be the hero in someone's story. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Share your thoughts or your own story of kindness in the comments below. I would love to read them. Also, check out the video on our end screen called The Magic of Little Moments for more amazing stories that remind us that every small act matters. Thank you for staying with me on this journey. And remember, even on the rainiest day, you hold the power to bring sunshine. Until next time, keep smiling, keep sharing, and always be ready to do something a little crazy for the sake of kindness. See you in the next video.